Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back. Tell me honestly, have you ever stood in front of a closet full of clothes you once loved, but now somehow nothing feels right anymore? It's as if your body has changed, but your wardrobe hasn't caught up. You want elegance, you want comfort, but instead you get frustration. That's why today I want to talk about the empire waist. You've seen it everywhere, on blogs, in magazines, models floating in lovely tops. But here's the truth. This silhouette is either pure magic or a total disaster, and it all depends on a few tiny details most people overlook. In this video, I'll share my own oops moments, the lessons I've learned, and the 3 traps you absolutely must avoid. And I promise you, by the end, you'll know exactly how to tell if an empire waist will flatter you the moment you try it on. So, settle in, because we're about to unlock the hidden magic of the empire waist, starting with the very first secret, the golden anchor point. All right, my dear friends, let's settle in. You know, as we move gracefully through our 60s, so many of us wonder, is this still a style that feels both elegant and kind to our changing bodies? We've all heard about the empire waist, haven't we? Style videos will show us these lovely tops, pointing out that flattering high waistline. The message is always a positive one. It's not about hiding, but celebrating with natural grace. And that is a beautiful sentiment, but it's only scratching the surface. Today, I want to pull back the curtain and share with you what's really going on. We're going to decode the magic together to truly understand why this silhouette works so beautifully for us. First, let's talk about what I like to call the golden anchor point. I'd love for you to try this with me right now. Just place your hands on your ribcage, right underneath your bust. Do you feel that? That's your body's natural structure. You see, even if our weight fluctuates, this part of our frame remains remarkably consistent. It's our anchor. It's like an architect finding the strongest point of a building to support the entire structure. And in a world where so much about our bodies changes, isn't it reassuring to know there's still one place we can always rely on? Second, there is the elongating effect, and this is based on classic visual science. Have you ever heard of the rule of thirds in art? Well, the empire waist applies that very same principle to our bodies. In fact, experts at the New York Fashion Institute noted that by placing the waistline higher, our overall proportions can appear up to 10% more balanced. Think of it like framing a photograph. When the balance is right, the whole picture just feels more harmonious. And finally, the part that means the most to me personally, the gift of freedom. No design schematic can ever capture this feeling. Let me tell you a little story. I remember being at a wonderful lunch with some of my dearest girlfriends, but I was wearing a blouse that was just a little too fitted around the middle. I remember trying to discreetly adjust my blouse under the table. Oh my, I bet some of you have done that too. And the whole time, a little voice in the back of my head was whispering, "Is my tummy showing?" I wasn't fully present. Then, another time, I went to a party wearing a simple empire dress. And I remember laughing so hard at one point that tears were streaming down my face. And later, a friend came up to me and said, "It's been so long since I've seen you laugh that freely." And in that moment, I realized it wasn't just a dress, it was permission. Permission to be fully myself again. Do you have a piece of clothing that makes you feel that same sense of freedom? Don't be shy. Just one sentence is enough. Your story might be the very encouragement another woman here needs to hear today. Now, I want to be honest. If you've ever tried this style and felt disappointed, please know you're not alone. I have been right there with you. And that's exactly why in our next section, I'm going to take you by the hand and share my journey to finding the perfect empire waist. And it all starts with the most crucial element, the fabric. All right, my friends, so we understand the wonderful why behind this design. But I have to confess, the road from understanding the magic to actually wearing it well wasn't a straight line for me. And let's be honest, isn't that the story for so many of us? We see something beautiful on paper or on a model, and then wonder why it doesn't quite work on us. Well, today I want to share the personal roadmap I created along that journey. Fabric, the foundation of elegance or disaster. It all begins with the fabric. A recent AARP survey found that 68% of women over 60 say that comfortable, high-quality fabric is even more important than the style itself. And I couldn't agree more. I will never forget this one time. I found a beautiful empire waist top online made of a sheer chiffon. But when it arrived, oh, my heart just sank. I remember standing in front of the mirror, tugging at the hem, hoping it would somehow look better. But no, every glance in the mirror just made me feel more deflated. That flimsy fabric had betrayed me. But I took it to my wonderful local tailor and she suggested adding a thin, stretchy jersey knit lining. My dears, when I tried it on again, I almost laughed out loud in the tailor's shop. It was like she had waved a magic wand. From that day on, my golden rule has been to look for fabrics with a bit of drape and weight. Think of soft jersey, modal, or a beautiful soft knit cotton. And if you ever find a piece that already has a lining built in, you've found a true treasure. Have you ever had one of those online shopping moments where the fabric just wasn't what you expected? Don't be shy, let's share our stories. We can all learn from each other. Color and pattern, the silent language of style. Once you have that beautiful fabric, you can start to paint your picture. I have a dear friend Susan, who recently wore a stunning deep burgundy empire dress to her anniversary party. She was the most radiant woman in the room. In fact, it's no surprise. A Harper's Bazaar survey of women over 55 found that 7 out of 10 of us feel more confident in deeper hues than in brights. When it comes to patterns, I think of it this way. A tiny scatter of florals can feel like a gentle melody, while one big, bold bloom right across the tummy. Well, that's like a drumbeat you didn't ask for. Stick to those delicate, smaller prints for the most flattering effect. What's your personal power color? The one you put on and instantly feel more confident. For me, it has to be a deep teal. The versatile transformer, from a garden stroll to a dinner party, and now for the really fun part. Picture this, a lovely weekend morning. I'll wear my favorite floral empire top with comfortable, straight-leg white jeans and a light cashmere cardigan. Now here's the magic. That same evening, I had an impromptu dinner invitation. In 5 minutes, I was ready. I kept the same top on, but I swapped the cardigan for a tailored white blazer, the jeans for a pair of black, wide-leg silky pants, and my loafers for a pair of kitten heels. And you know what? My husband didn't even notice the switch. He just said, "You look amazing tonight." Sometimes that's the best compliment. That's why I like to say, let your clothes serve you, not the other way around. One smart empire waist top can save you so much money and closet space. So, before you rush off to add a new empire top to your cart, please stay with me. Because I want to save you from the exact 3 mistakes that once cost me both money and confidence. Let's continue on this journey together. All right. Now this next part is so important, my friends. We've talked about beautiful fabrics and lovely colors, but even with all the right ingredients, if you fall into one of these 3 little traps, the entire recipe can go wrong. And let's be honest, haven't we all had that one outfit that looked perfect on the hanger, but just let us down in the mirror? Well, these are mistakes that even the most stylish women I know have made at least once. First, there's the maternity mix-up. This is the most common pitfall. I remember buying this one top. The color was perfect, but when I put it on, oh, my heart just sank. Instead of draping gracefully, it puffed out from under the bust like a little balloon. I even caught myself tugging at the hem, hoping it would somehow fall better, but no, it just kept puffing out. It's a surprisingly common experience. A survey by Women's Wear Daily found that 42% of women over 55 have felt their outfit was mistaken for maternity wear simply because of the wrong cut. The solution is simple. When you're trying things on, look for a gentle A-line shape. If the fabric moves beautifully with you, you've got a winner. So please don't be discouraged if you've made this mistake before. You're in very good company. Next, there's the proportion trap. Oh, I have been a victim of this one myself. I had these gorgeous wide-leg linen pants. One day, I paired them with a flowing empire top. But when I looked in the mirror, I remember thinking, where did I go, say I've disappeared inside all this fabric? My husband even joked that I looked like I was hiding camping gear under there. The solution is all about balance. Think of it as a little fashion equation. 1 flowy plus 1 fitted. Perfect balance. Pair your empire top with straight leg pants or slim fit trousers. Have you ever felt swallowed by your outfit? What's your go-to pair of pants or skirt to bring balance back? Your tip might be exactly what another woman here needs today. Finally, we have the length limbo. This is a tiny detail with a huge impact. I once wore a top that was just a tad too long to a family gathering. When we took a group photo, I realized my legs looked like they had vanished. And every time I visit, that photo is right there on the wall, reminding me why length matters. There's a golden spot for the hemline to hit, usually 1 to 2 inches below your hip bone. Here's a little tip. Pretend you're doing a little dance test in the fitting room. If the hem behaves through all of it, you found a keeper, so there you have it. These aren't rules to box you in. They are tools to set you free. Because when you know how to avoid the traps, you can focus on what really matters. The joy of expressing yourself. And in our final section, we're going to talk about the most important part of all, the incredible woman wearing these clothes. So here we are at the end of our little style journey today. You know, as we've been talking, I realized something. We weren't just talking about a top. We were talking about a tool that gives us freedom. It's a beautiful reminder that when we truly understand our bodies, fashion isn't about hiding anymore. It's about liberating the wonderful woman you already are. I've shared my stories, but this is a conversation, so I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Beyond clothes, what is your secret weapon for feeling radiant and confident each day? It could be a shade of lipstick, a favorite song, anything at all. Please don't be shy to share, because your answer might just be the inspiration another woman needs to hear today. And if this feels like a conversation you'd like to continue, I warmly invite you to subscribe so we can meet again right here for our next one. And of course, a simple like helps other wonderful women discover our little community too. And remember, your smile, your grace, and your confidence will always outshine any outfit. Take good care.